Recently, more than 120 confirmed or suspected cases of monkeypox, a rare viral illness seldom discovered outside of Africa, have been recorded in at least 11 non-African nations. The development of the virus in distinct populations throughout the globe, in regions where it does not typically occur, has frightened experts and prompted them to scramble for solutions. In this video, we will attempt to answer the question of what will happen to the global economy if monkeypox becomes a pandemic. Stay with us till the end, because our last point is something you may not have considered. Why are people so concerned about monkeypox? Monkeypox, an uncommon virus that is often limited to West and Central Africa, seems to be hampering any return to normality. In his initial public comments on the epidemic, President Biden said that monkeypox was worrisome and that its expansion would have dire consequences. The declaration followed the announcement that New York City had tested 2 persons with monkeypox. The possibility of monkeypox jeopardizing economic resurgence plans adds a new element to risk estimates for gatherings. Some businesses have already again delayed return to office dates in response to the escalating number of COVID cases. And last week, Mayor Eric Adams of New York asked the city's business leaders to take the subway to encourage employees to return to the office. However, this is not another COVID-like pandemic. The danger to the public is minimal, according to health experts. According to health experts, it is not as infectious or harmful as the coronavirus. When people are infectious, they often exhibit the characteristic body lesions of monkeypox. In addition, experts are familiar with monkeypox, which was first identified in people in the 1970s. Before social distance limitations are implemented in the U.S., officials believe there must be a substantial number of instances grouped in a single region. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there is no safe therapy for monkeypox, but the Food and Drug Administration had previously licensed a vaccination for the virus. Some of the concerns with the virus. The World Health Organization also noted that healthcare professionals unfamiliar with monkeypox may not identify the condition when a patient seeks treatment. Due to the variety of illnesses that produce skin rashes and the fact that clinical presentation is more likely to be aberrant in this outbreak, it may be difficult to separate monkeypox purely based on clinical presentation, especially in patients with an atypical appearance. It is evident from the size of the epidemic that the virus has been propagating unnoticed for an extended period of time, and its prevalence is likely more than is presently understood. According to the FDA, the unexpected emergence of vast geographic distribution of numerous sporadic cases imply that widespread human-to-human transmission is already occurring, and the virus may have been circulating unnoticed for many weeks or more. The virus may spread in Europe. Monkeypox might become endemic in Europe if the current epidemic is not contained and the virus spreads to vulnerable animal species, the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control stated in a risk assessment of the unique occurrence released on Monday. Currently, the virus is only considered endemic in a dozen countries in West and Central Africa where occasional human infections occur. Prior to this year, just a few exported cases of monkeypox had been identified outside of endemic regions, in the United States, the United Kingdom, Israel, and Singapore. There is a chance that the illness might become endemic in Europe if human-to-animal transmission happens and the virus spreads in an animal population, according to the ECDC. Therefore, there must be a tight coordination between human and veterinary public health authorities in order to manage affected pets and avoid transmission to wildlife. How will it change our daily life if it spreads? Mask wearing will likely persist for the time being. The mayor of New York was already under pressure to reintroduce the indoor mask rule due to the recent surge in COVID cases. Now, many health professionals assert that masks may also prevent the transmission of monkeypox. Importantly, municipal health authorities stated recently that anyone experiencing flu-like symptoms, enlarged lymph nodes, and rashes on the face and body should also see a physician as a precaution. What is monkeypox? Monkeypox is an orthopox virus, a family that includes the now eradicated smallpox virus. Vaccines and medications designed to prevent or cure smallpox are anticipated to provide some protection against monkeypox. The symptoms of monkeypox are less severe than those of smallpox, which was deadly in roughly 30% of cases. The mortality rate for monkeypox is thought to range between 1 and 10%, with viruses from the West African lineage responsible for the present epidemic having a fatality rate at the lower end of this range. What happens to the economy when there is a pandemic? One way to understand what will happen if there is another pandemic is to look at what has been happening due to COVID-19. In March 2020, when millions of people in the U.S. and throughout the globe went into lockdown, an economic ripple effect was inevitable. Despite the medical need of these measures to contain the coronavirus spread, there was a downside. Large portions of the economy came to a standstill. And since the COVID-19 pandemic is worldwide, its consequences have also been felt internationally. Certain businesses, notably tourism and hospitality, were most immediately affected by the pandemic. Shops and restaurants either shut down entirely or opened with limited seating capacity and minimal demand for in-house dining. Non-essential travel vanished, resulting in enormous revenue losses for airlines, cruise ship operators, and smaller tourism-dependent enterprises. Those engaged in sectors that seemed to be unrelated also experienced the secondary consequences of social alienation. As shopping slowed and demand for non-essential items, such as new clothing, declined, manufacturers reported a decline in orders, particularly outside the medical industry. The loss of mortgage payments was absorbed by banks as a result of government-mandated forbearance regulations, and oil corporations saw prices collapse as a result of a dramatic reduction in ordinary travel-related demand. It's likely to be similar if monkeypox turns into an epidemic, although nowhere near severe. How COVID-19 affected the hospitality sector. The influence of COVID-19 on businesses such as leisure and hospitality was significant from November 2019 to November 2020. Las Vegas's unemployment rate climbed by about 8 percentage points, which is approximately 5 percentage points greater than the national average. Las Vegas and Orlando are among the metropolitan regions with the highest unemployment rates in the U.S. In November 2020, Las Vegas had the fourth highest unemployment rate among all metropolitan areas, which was 5 points higher than the national average. From November 2019 to November 2020, Las Vegas and Orlando experienced almost the 10% greatest employment reductions of all metropolitan regions. How we can prevent this epidemic. The World Health Organization recommended that governments concentrate on disseminating correct information about monkeypox to the people presently at the greatest risk and halting the disease's spread among them. It is also said that governments should try to safeguard frontline workers, stating that health professionals are at danger of catching the virus if they do not use the proper protective gear. Fever, headaches, edema, back discomfort, and aching muscles are among the first symptoms. Once the fever subsides, a rash may appear, often first on the face before spreading to other parts of the body, most frequently the palms of the hands and soles of the feet. The rash, which may be highly irritating or severe, transforms and progresses through many phases until ultimately producing a scab, which eventually comes off. Lesions may result in scarring. The duration of the illness is typically between 14 and 21 days. Monkeypox may be transmitted by intimate contact with an infected individual. The virus may enter the body through damaged skin, the respiratory system, the eyes, nose, and mouth. It has not been classified as a sexually transmitted disease, although it may be spread via intimate contact. New recommendations advise anyone infected with the virus to refrain from sexual activity while exhibiting symptoms. Although there is presently no proof that monkeypox may be transmitted via sexual fluids, confirmed cases of the virus are encouraged to wear condoms for 8 weeks following infection. It may also be transmitted by contact with infected animals, such as monkeys, rats, and squirrels, or through materials contaminated with the virus, such as bedding and clothes. The vast majority of cases are minor, sometimes approximating chickenpox, and resolve on their own within a few weeks, which is the good news. The other good news is that scientists generally do not feel that monkeypox is as severe as COVID-19. Jay Hooper, a virologist at the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases at Fort Detrick, Maryland, explains that monkeypox is not SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus responsible for the COVID-19 epidemic. Because it is closely linked to the smallpox virus, there are currently therapies and vaccinations available to prevent its spread. Therefore, scientists are worried but not terrified, since any new viral activity is alarming. We have a far better chance of controlling monkeypox than we did COVID. Primarily, monkeypox is not as transmissible, barring a radical shift in biology, which appears improbable. Second, it takes far longer for a monkeypox infection to grow and become contagious inside a person. Therefore, there are more opportunities to safeguard contacts. Thirdly, monkeypox may not be highly contagious prior to the rash that indicates the need for quarantine, but COVID may be spread before the onset of symptoms and even in asymptomatic patients. Monkeypox has not reached a threshold of danger similar to the existing COVID epidemic, based on its previous history over the last several decades, and the number of cases we have seen so far. Therefore, although we may be cautiously hopeful that the epidemic will be contained, it is essential to be aware of monkeypox and to be prepared for the unexpected. We must assist the public health authorities and labs that are diligently attempting to comprehend the epidemiology, pathophysiology, and treatment choices in order to be able to respond to any situation with as much scientific accuracy as possible. Do you think that monkeypox will turn into an epidemic? What else would you like us to talk about in our upcoming videos? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our videos.